Are you noticing the subtle signs that could suggest a loved one has only months to live? In the next 15 minutes, I will reveal 7 silent warnings highlighted by medical professionals at John Smith and Nassim Clinic, which may appear as early as 6 months before the end of life. Gaining this understanding could empower you to offer better care and make the most of the time you have left. The 7th warning is often overlooked even by experienced nurses, yet it stands as one of the most dependable indicators according to hospice experts. Beatrice from Arizona noticed a shift in her 80-year-old husband's behavior but couldn't identify exactly what had changed. 3 months later, doctors confirmed that he had entered the final stage of life. The signs had always been there, she just hadn't known what to look for. Sign 1. Significant changes in sleep patterns. When an elderly person suddenly starts sleeping 15 or more hours a day or becomes unusually restless at night, their body may be preparing for its final transition. This isn't typical aging fatigue, but a fundamental change in the way the body manages energy and consciousness. The shift often occurs gradually over several weeks, which may cause it to be mistaken as regular tiredness. Research from Harvard Medical School's Geriatric Division highlights that these sleep pattern changes are linked to the body conserving energy for essential functions while also undergoing neurological changes that disrupt the sleep-wake cycle. Dr. Oliver at Harvard explains that increased daytime sleeping combined with restlessness at night forms a pattern that medical professionals recognize as significant. The body's natural circadian rhythm begins to falter as various systems start to shut down. Consider Harold from Tennessee. His family noticed he was napping during his favorite afternoon TV shows. Soon, he was sleeping 18 hours a day and staying awake at night, causing exhaustion for both him and his caregivers. His daughter initially thought this was due to boredom, but a medical evaluation revealed that Harold's body was beginning its end-of-life processes. If these sleep changes are ignored, crucial opportunities to adjust care routines and provide comfort may be missed. Families often struggle with disrupted schedules and increased stress when they don't understand the cause. Medical professionals stress the importance of recognizing these sleep changes early as it enables families to create more supportive environments and seek proper guidance from healthcare providers. Track and document sleep patterns daily using a simple notebook or phone app. Monitor how many hours your loved one sleeps during the day and night, noting any changes from their usual routine. If you notice the pattern persists for more than a week, share this information with their doctor right away. Don't wait to address these changes, start tracking now because time is precious. Sign 2. Loss of interest in food and significant weight loss. Has your loved one stopped enjoying their favorite meals or lost 10 or more pounds without trying to diet? This goes beyond the usual appetite changes associated with aging and signals a deeper shift in how the body processes nutrition and energy. The loss of interest in food often begins with meals that were once favorites, eventually leading to complete disinterest in eating altogether. Mayo Clinic specialists in end-of-life care report that appetite loss occurs as the digestive system naturally slows down during the dying process. Dr. Jennifer Rodriguez from Mayo Clinic explains that as the body's metabolic needs decrease during the final stages of life, foods that once brought joy may become unappealing or even unpleasant. This biological change isn't a result of depression or stubbornness, but rather the body's way of redirecting energy away from digestion in preparation for its final transition. Ethel from Michigan, who had loved Sunday family dinners and homemade apple pie for 60 years, suddenly started pushing away her plate after just 2 bites and stopped inquiring about meals altogether. When her family noticed her disinterest in dessert, they realized something was different. Within 2 months, Ethel had lost 15 pounds. Despite their attempts to encourage eating, and after a medical evaluation, it was confirmed that she was in her final months. Ignoring changes in appetite and significant weight loss delays crucial care decisions, and it prevents families from prioritizing comfort instead of pushing for nutrition. Many families waste valuable time stressing over calorie intake rather than understanding that this is part of the natural process. Medical professionals emphasize that recognizing appetite loss as part of end-of-life progression allows families to shift their focus towards offering emotional comfort and maintaining dignity. Serve small portions of favorite foods without pressuring the person to eat, and track daily intake in a simple food diary. Prioritize comfort foods over forced nutrition and consult with healthcare providers about realistic expectations for eating during this stage. Document weight changes weekly, sharing this information with medical professionals to ensure appropriate care planning. Don't dismiss appetite loss as just normal aging. Understand what's happening and act now. Sign 3. Increased social withdrawal and disengagement. When someone who used to be social suddenly stops calling friends or attending family gatherings, it could be more than just depression or a temporary mood change. This withdrawal represents a natural psychological preparation for the end of life, where individuals begin to turn inward, disconnecting from external relationships and activities. This change often surprises families because it seems to contradict the person's usual social behavior. Johns Hopkins palliative care research indicates that social withdrawal plays a crucial psychological role during the end-of-life process. Dr. Michael Chen from Johns Hopkins explains that this disengagement helps individuals conserve energy for internal processes and spiritual preparation while letting go of earthly attachments. This withdrawal is not a rejection of loved ones but a natural mechanism to ease the transition with less emotional turmoil. Franklin from Ohio, who had attended weekly poker games with the same group for 25 years and never missed his grandson's baseball games, suddenly stopped returning phone calls and declined family invitations. His family assumed he was just having a bad month, but 6 months later, doctors confirmed that his body was preparing for the end of life and his social withdrawal had been an early warning sign. Ignoring these signs prevents families from understanding their loved one's emotional needs and delays important conversations about their wishes and preferences. Family members often feel hurt or rejected when they don't realize that the behavior is part of the natural process rather than a personal rejection. Healthcare providers stress that recognizing withdrawal patterns helps families offer the right emotional support without pressuring their loved one to maintain social obligations. Gently encourage connection while respecting their need for solitude and reduced interaction. Offer low-pressure opportunities for brief visits or phone calls without insisting on participation in larger gatherings. Focus on quality time rather than quantity, allowing your loved one to engage at their own comfort level while ensuring emotional availability. Approach these moments with understanding and patience, as they matter more than you might realize. Sign 4. Unusual confusion or mental changes. Sudden confusion, talking to deceased relatives, or significant personality changes may suggest that the brain is preparing for transition, rather than signaling the usual progression of dementia. These mental shifts often include vivid conversations with people who have passed away, disorientation regarding time and place, or dramatic changes in personality traits that have remained constant for years. These alterations may be intermittent, further adding to their confusion and complexity. Periods of clarity mixed with episodes of confusion are common. Cleveland Clinic neurological studies show that changes in the brain at the end of life are caused by reduced oxygen flow and metabolic changes that affect cognitive processing. Dr. Patricia Williams from Cleveland Clinic explains that these neurological shifts often lead to meaningful experiences for dying individuals, including visits from deceased loved ones, which offer comfort during this transition. Research indicates that these experiences serve crucial psychological functions and should not be dismissed as simple hallucinations or confusion. Vernon from Florida began having detailed conversations with his late wife, Martha, describing her presence in the room and relaying messages she wanted to share with family members. His children initially feared he had dementia, but Vernon remained clear about current events and family matters between these episodes. A medical evaluation revealed that these experiences were part of his natural end-of-life process, not cognitive decline. Family distress increases significantly when they don't understand that these mental changes are natural end-of-life processes rather than medical emergencies requiring intervention. Many families panic and seek aggressive medical treatments that may not be appropriate or beneficial during this stage. Healthcare professionals emphasize that understanding these changes as normal helps families respond with comfort and support instead of fear and confusion. Respond calmly to unusual statements or behaviors without arguing or correcting, and seek medical evaluation to distinguish between end-of-life changes and treatable conditions. Document specific episodes with times and details to share with healthcare providers for proper assessment and guidance. Create a peaceful environment that accommodates these experiences while ensuring safety and comfort for your loved one. Document these changes immediately for healthcare providers, as proper understanding leads to better care. Sign 5. Decreased mobility and increased weakness. When walking across the room becomes exhausting or they need help with tasks they could manage yesterday, pay attention to the significant change in physical ability. This is not typical age-related weakness, but a fundamental decrease in energy and strength that affects activities of daily living. The weakness often progresses rapidly over weeks or months, leading to dramatic changes in independence and physical function. The American Geriatrics Society reports that end-of-life weakness occurs because the body redirects energy away from muscle function to maintain vital organ systems. Dr. Robert Thompson from the American Geriatrics Society explains that muscles start breaking down protein reserves to support essential body functions, leading to rapid strength loss that exceeds normal aging patterns. This biological process represents the body's natural prioritization of resources during its final months. Carmen from Texas could walk to her mailbox and tend her small garden until last spring. Suddenly, she needed help getting out of her favorite chair and couldn't lift her coffee cup without trembling. Her family initially thought she needed better nutrition, but a medical evaluation showed that her body was entering end-stage processes causing rapid muscle weakness and energy depletion. Safety risks increase dramatically when families don't recognize severe weakness as an end-of-life indicator, which can lead to dangerous falls and injuries that could be prevented with proper precautions. Many families continue to expect normal activity levels, creating frustration and potential harm for their loved one. Medical professionals emphasize that acknowledging decreased mobility allows families to create safer environments and adjust expectations accordingly. Remove fall hazards throughout the home and arrange for supportive care equipment such as grab bars, shower chairs, and mobility aids immediately. Accept these changes as part of the natural process to ensure the safety and comfort of your loved one. Assist with daily activities without pushing for independence that may no longer be safe or realistic given your loved one's current condition. Prioritize comfort and safety instead of maintaining previous activity levels that may no longer be feasible. Make necessary safety adjustments now, as falls can accelerate decline and create additional complications. Sign 6. Changes in breathing patterns. Irregular breathing, periods of rapid breathing followed by slow breaths, or unusual breathlessness while resting are significant signs that should not be ignored or mistaken for normal aging. These changes in breathing often include long pauses between breaths, shallow or labored breathing during activities that were previously manageable, or new patterns that sound different from their usual breathing rhythm. These shifts may start subtly but grow more noticeable over time. National Hospice Foundation guidelines identify breathing pattern changes as reliable indicators of end-of-life progression, as respiratory function reflects the overall status of the body's systems. Dr. Linda Garcia from the National Hospice Foundation explains that breathing irregularities occur as the heart and lungs function less efficiently, creating patterns that medical professionals recognize as significant. These changes represent the body's natural adaptation to decreased energy and organ function, not acute medical emergencies requiring aggressive treatment. Raymond from Georgia developed a new breathing pattern where he would breathe rapidly for several minutes, followed by very slow breaths with long pauses in between. His wife noticed this pattern, particularly during his afternoon rest periods when he seemed to struggle for air even though he wasn't physically active. A medical consultation revealed that these changes in his breathing were indicators that Raymond's body was entering end-stage processes requiring comfort-focused care rather than aggressive treatments. Ignoring these respiratory changes prevents families from seeking the appropriate comfort measures and may result in unnecessary medical interventions that do not improve quality of life. During this stage, many families worry about breathing changes without recognizing they are part of the natural progression, not conditions that require emergency treatment. Healthcare providers stress that recognizing these changes helps families focus on comfort measures and proper medical support. Carefully observe breathing changes and inform healthcare providers immediately about any new patterns, including their frequency, depth, and any sounds that seem different from their normal breathing. Ensure your loved one is positioned comfortably to support easier breathing and consider consulting with palliative care specialists for advice on comfort measures. Offer reassurance and presence during breathing difficulties rather than panicking over changes that may simply be part of the natural progression. Monitor breathing daily and report changes immediately, as proper medical guidance ensures better comfort and care. Sign 7. Desire to resolve unfinished business. When elderly individuals suddenly wish to give away possessions, apologize, or have important conversations they've avoided for years, it's important to pay close attention to these requests. This urgent need to settle affairs goes beyond typical estate planning and signifies deep psychological preparation for the end of life. The desire often includes distributing meaningful items to specific people, reconciling broken relationships, or sharing important information that they've never discussed before. Hospice care specialists across the country report that individuals nearing the end of life often experience a strong drive to complete unfinished emotional and practical matters as part of their natural psychological preparation for death. Dr. Amanda Foster, a hospice specialist with 30 years of experience, explains that this behavior serves crucial psychological functions by allowing individuals to achieve peace and closure before their final transition. Research shows that people who resolve unfinished business tend to experience less anxiety and more acceptance during their final weeks. Lawrence from Nevada suddenly insisted on calling his estranged brother after 15 years of silence. Silence filled the room as he apologized for a family disagreement that neither could remember clearly. He started giving away his woodworking tools to his neighbors and grandchildren, explaining the exact reasons each person should receive specific items. At first, his family was concerned about his depression, but Lawrence was actually preparing for his final months by making sure that his important relationships and belongings were in order. Failing to honor these last wishes and missing opportunities for meaningful closure leads to deep regret for both the person who is dying and the surviving family members who may not understand the significance of these discussions. Many families dismiss such requests as morbid thoughts rather than seeing them as a healthy way to mentally prepare for the end of life. Medical professionals stress that supporting these actions brings immense comfort and peace to those nearing the end of life. Encourage these conversations and assist in facilitating connections with the people your loved one wants to reach out to. Even if there have been struggles or tensions in the past, help with the practical steps of distributing their possessions according to their wishes without questioning their reasons or timing. Listen closely to the stories and information they want to share, treating these conversations as valuable final gifts. Honor these requests now because tomorrow might be too late for meaningful connections and crucial talks. Recognizing these 7 signs doesn't mean giving up hope, it means offering the most loving and informed care during the last phase of life. When families grasp these natural processes, they can focus on comfort, connection, and making each moment count rather than fighting against biological realities. Knowledge empowers you to support your loved one with dignity and peace while creating treasured memories that will provide comfort to your family for years ahead. If you've noticed any of these signs in a loved one, share your experience in the comments. Your story might help another family recognize the changes they are seeing. Like this video to help other seniors and their families access this vital information, and subscribe for more essential health guidance that could make a real difference in your family's life. Share this with anyone caring for elderly family members, as this knowledge could help them provide better, more compassionate care during life's most precious final chapters.